Put your hands together for the man, the myth, the legend himself. Ladies and gentlemen, Sebastian!
Since I was born, I've been singing this song. Wow. I didn't know what to expect from this. Yeah! I didn't know what to expect at the Comic-Con Q&A, but you guys are a pretty enthusiastic bunch, so thank you very much. That's fucking awesome. I don't know if this mic stand's tall enough for me. This one's for Ronnie James Dio.
Amen. Well, welcome out to Knoxville.
Thank you. I am very, I have to regain my composure because walking here, I just walked past Wally Cleaver and Beaver Cleaver. I am a fan. We are all fans of somebody. You know, if you could have told me when I was a little boy that in 2019 I would be hanging out with the Beeve, I would have said there's no way that's happening. But hey, I just got my picture with Wally.
All right.
Very cool. Very, very cool. I am a very big fan. Ladies and gentlemen, Carmen Electra!
You don't want to miss it!
This is our Q&A in Knoxville, Tennessee. And you have a Q&A coming up, right? All right.
She don't want to miss you.
And you know, I have a Q&A for Carmen Electra. Who's wilder, Tommy Lee or Dennis Rodman? And I think we should thank Carmen for saving the world with Dennis Rodman from North Korean nuclear weapons. Thank you. Thank you for saving the planet Earth. If it wasn't for her, dude, we'd be at nuclear war. So she deserves a hand right there. Wow. I'm just glad you solved the issue of nuclear bombs in the planet. That was nice of your guy. Okay, so does anybody have any Q's? Because if you have a Q, I have an A. Do you understand that? No, you.
I'm already so thoroughly entertained.
Huh?
I'm already so thoroughly entertained. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for being so personable. Statement and then a question. You are first and foremost a fan.
I am a fan.
And you've made that clear in television and in interviews. I mean, in every medium, and that just kicks ass. Because we are too. So it's awesome.
I gotta tell you, my dad was an artist. He's a painter. And he used to come home for dinner every night and his arms would be covered in paint. And all he talked about was painting and his pictures and his art. That's all. It was my birthday. I was like 7 or 8. And I go, hey, Dad, can we do something for my birthday? Can we not talk about your art? But what I learned at a very young age was just to do something in life that you love to do. Because he loved to paint. And that's all he cared about. And that's all he talked about. So I said, I love to rock. So I'm going to rock. Because I love rock. So put another dime in the jukebox, baby. I love rock and roll. Wait, my agent's going to charge extra for that. Because I'm only here to talk, no singing. Put another dime in the jukebox, baby. Come and take your time and dance with me. Hey, that was free. That was fucking free. That was a bonus. Bonus.
told you not to sing.
All right.
Surreal. Okay. The history behind singing in beer commercials, Schooner Beer?
Beer commercials pay good.
How old were you, and how did that gig come about? And how is the product? I've never had it.
I was like 16 years old, and somebody said, "Hey, dude, you can make a lot of money singing commercials." And I go, "Okay." And so I went down and I tried out, and there was a bunch of older guys there, and I was a young boy. And the guy goes, "How many octaves do you have?" I go, "I don't know, like 8."
All of them?
And I had no idea. Like, I just said that. Everybody laughed. Oh yeah, you got 8 octaves. That's great. What are you, an octopus? But sure enough, I got the gig. And all those old dudes were pissed off at me too. Like, because they needed the money. I was, spending it on hash or whatever. But wait, we're in Tennessee. I shouldn't say that. Hash browns. Hash browns. I spent it on hash browns. See? I'm always thinking. So, what was the question? Oh yeah, beer commercials.
Yeah.
So I sang this commercial. It was for Schooner Beer. The night is coming, tonight's the night, and here we come, tonight's the night. Okay. That was the commercial. And I made like $2,000 for like 20 minutes work.
Great.
And that was like $1 billion in 1987. And so I go, and then Skid Row asked me to join them, and I go, "I'm not joining your band, I'm singing beer commercials. You don't have $2,000. I do." And so they flew me, they go, "Well, we will pay for your plane ticket to come to New Jersey." And I go, "Okay, if you're gonna pay for the ticket, might as well go, it's a free plane ticket." So I went down there, and then about 4 years later, I was looking at my accounting, and they charged me back for the plane ticket.
Oh, shit.
And we were a platinum band, but I go, $180, 1987? Like, really? Welcome to showbiz, folks. Welcome to showbiz.
Next question.
Okay. This is from Mr. Electra. No. Okay.
What's your favorite wine?
Liquid. Actually, let me tell you about wine. I did 4 Broadway shows, okay? Everybody said, "Hey, dude, when you get on Broadway, don't let them know how wild you are or whatever." Those mother truckers will show me how to be wild. Those guys that have been in plays for 15 years, like Phantom of the Opera, they just go every day like trolls and do the moves and the songs. And so every night after the Broadway show, these Broadway singers go out to a nice restaurant in Times Square, and they drink red wine. So that's how I got into it. Plus I was doing Jesus Christ Superstar, and I used to like to drink beer, but that didn't really work out when I was on the cross naked in a diaper. And Jesus didn't have a beer belly. And so everybody goes, "Dude, Jesus loved wine." He was all about the wine. And that was part of the role. So switched to wine, and because I was wearing a diaper on stage. I look down, I go, "What? I'm going on stage like this? Oh my gosh." But I don't know if you've seen the play. They're so mean to old JC in Act 2. Act 1 is all, "Hey, we love this guy. He's riding around, carrying around on palms. Everybody's nice to Jesus." And then Act 2, they just beat the crap out of him, me. And of course you can't, Jesus didn't cuss, right? And so I did 6 months of the show, no cussing, except for this one time when the guards from the temple, they're whipping me, and I'm tied up, Girls like that scene. And so these guys are like circling me, and they're in these jack boots. And again, I'm on stage in a diaper with no shoes and my big feet. And one of these guys going, you, and I'm like, ugh. And he steps on my toe. And that was the only time Jesus went. It hurt so bad, but I wasn't on microphone, so only the front row heard that. It really hurt. I'm sorry. I get a strike against me for that one. Okay, I got some more other funny stories about that. Well, here's one. So, as I was saying, that scene, I'm tied up, okay? It's in Act 2, and I have my hands tied up, and there's a whole song where they take turns whipping Jesus in the back, right? That's the story. It's like crack, crack, and it goes on for like 2 to 3 minutes. And all the producers of the play, like, they're used to traditional Broadway, and, you know, they hired the guy from Skid Row to be Jesus. I don't know who came up with that idea. But, so a lot of the fans of the show were rock and roll girls, you know? And so the scene where I'm tied up and I'm getting whipped in a diaper, we were playing San Diego, and every time I got whipped, these girls would go, ah, yeah, and it just kept going. I'm going, whack, whack, and I'm getting, and all these chicks are loving it, and these producers on the side of stage are going, this is not correct. This is not what the play is about at all. Hit him again! Hit him! Get him! Oh! It was sold out. They like that part about it. They like that. They're like, yeah. Okay, I don't know if I should have told that story. Okay.
What's the craziest thing you ever did with Christina Applegate? Sexually.
Huh? Well, you know, it's kind of a legendary status because they asked her on Ellen DeGeneres or E! News, they go, what was the dumbest thing you ever did? She goes, I turned down Brad Pitt for a dude. Hello, that would be me. And I know the exact night. Sorry, Brad Pitt. Sorry to shut down Brad Pitt. Someone's got to do it. Maybe he should have kept the Legends of the Fall. That was his best look.
Yes.
He should have kept the hair, dude. Okay, I'm having a little too much fun. That was a good one.
That was a good one. Next question right here.
I don't think you can't believe you know that. Well, you got me back for a Korean nuclear war. Payback's a bitch. So you got it.
Well, I agree. I'd much rather have a rocker than an actor, so I think she made a good call.
Can you repeat that?
I said I think she made a good call. I'd much rather have a rocker than an actor, so she made a great call.
So you'd rather me rock than act?
No, I'm saying I'd rather have you than Brad Pitt.
Oh!
Yeah, that's a clear and easy answer.
Brad's cool. I'm sure he's a cool guy.
Yeah.
He's not here. He's not here tonight. This is a fun Q&A. I'm having fun.
So I was wondering, what was your experience like working with and on the Trailer Park Boys?
Completely different than Jesus Christ Superstar. A different role. You guys like model trains?
Yeah!
You like Trailer Park Boys?
Yeah!
Woo! Those guys are very funny. When I first saw that show, I was in Canada where my family lives, and I was just turning channels, and I saw that show, and I thought it was real for like 3 or 4 minutes. And I go, these guys are fucked. Like, what is wrong with these guys? Like, everybody, come here, look at these guys. There's no hope for them. But then I realized it was a comedy. And it's a very fun show. The best thing, like, okay, Carmen can answer this. The thing about doing a show, or TV show, or a movie, or doing a concert, it's all about the chemistry that you have with your other actors, the people that you're working with, and when you really nail it, it's so much fun, and it feels so good. And the Trailer Park Boys for what it's trying to do, it nails it. It's the funniest show. It's just funny, you know? And that's what they're going for, and they achieve it. They're ridiculous.
Got another question right here.
Hi.
Hi.
I am an elementary school teacher, and
Wow.
I was wondering what you were like in elementary school and if you were involved in the performing arts then. What were you?
I actually skipped the 7th grade. Is that weird?
I told you.
Because I was taller than everybody, and I was like straight A student, and I was bigger than everybody, and the teacher said, "F this guy, man." So like, if you read in my book, like they put me in the middle of grade 8, in the middle of grade 7, and all the grade 8s were like, "Oh, you're so smart, oh!" And every time the teacher turned her back, they punch me, you know. We've all been through that. It's called school, you know. But once I started, I was the lead soprano in the church choir. I didn't cuss. So I was in the choir. But once I started singing in the church choir, I knew I wanted to sing for my whole life. And it was a Christmas mass when I was like 8 years old. And we were singing the Christmas songs, and it was snowing, and the whole city was there, and my mom was there, and my cousins were there, and it was like, in excelsis Deo. That was the exact notes. I was 8. And I'm not 8 anymore. Man, I just did that pretty good.
You damn well did. Yeah.
And people want me to do a Christmas record. And they're like, you want to do Jingle Bells? No. Well, you want to do Frosty the Snowman? As much as I love Frosty the Snowman, it's not, my Christmas record is going to be traditional, like from the choir, classical, super high. I'm going to sing the same high notes that I did when I was 8, when I'm in my 50s.
Yes.
That's what I'm going to do. Ben, set that up. Thank you.
Make it happen. Got a question back here?
Hello.
Hello.
I really, really liked your cover of Jeff Buckley's Eternal Life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was really awesome.
Wow.
Question for you. Who have been some of your biggest influences, either as musicians or actors?
Well, it always
Shooting a pavilion.
It always changes. Like when I was a kid, who was my hero is different kind of maybe now. The guys that I really respect now are the guys that do it for real and they don't stop. Like Willie Nelson is 86 years old. 86! Can you imagine, like, doing a tour at the age of, like, that's someone Neil Young, okay? He's actually Neil Old. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He's got a new record coming out. He's got a new tour coming out. ZZ Top, Billy Gibbons, Ozzy, all these guys that are still rocking because Alice Cooper looks younger now than he did in 71. How does that work? Like the guys that were like monsters and like, you know, all the makeup, they look the same. Like, it's like, but who else? But I love, as we get older, you want to watch your ears. You know, you notice your eyesight goes away and other things like. So my ears are. I'm very conscious, and I don't want to end up like Brian Johnson from AC/DC when he loses his hearing because he played the music too loud. Or Huey Lewis, who I love, Huey Lewis, and he says he can't play because he can't hear anymore. So this was dedicated to that little guy over there. Don't play the music too loud because it hurts your ears, okay? Hey! So a couple years ago, I got my hearing checked out, and the doctor said, okay, I can tell you played rock and roll your whole life. You have a little dip in the high end. Anybody that's been on stage for years has that little dip. Because you're fine, your ears are fine. But if you don't start turning it down now, in 10 years from now, you'll wish that you did. And I wept when he told me that because I imagined losing my hearing and not being able to listen to music. And I don't want to be around for that. So I immediately, because I go running all the time, and I listen to music when I'm running, and then I play the shows, I'm listening to music, and in a car, of course, I'm listening to music. Cleaning the house, I'm listening to music. I'm packing my bags, I'm listening to music. Always listening. So I turned it down, and then when I started listening to music at a lower volume, my taste in music changed a little bit. Like I love Steely Dan, which sounds so good on my stereo. I don't have to crank it. It sounds excellent all the time. I love the Eagles because of the way they sing and the harmonies that they do. So when I turned down the volume, my taste changed a little bit. I still love metal, but I like listening to metal kind of loud.
It's loud.
But, yeah.
It's a great question.
Hello. What's your costume here?
It's supposed to be Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins in the house! Is that your umbrella?
Oh, my umbrella I put back in the car.
Oh, you put it in the car.
I got tired of rocking around with it.
Okay. Well, attention to detail.
It's true. Well, as we talked about earlier, like I love your book. It's been so fantastic, and I've been a fan for like ever since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I just had a question, since it is the Comic-Con and everything. That I was wondering who your favorite superhero was.
What a great
growing
question.
up.
What a great question. My favorite superhero has always been the Incredible Hulk. Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Leave me alone. But no, when I say I love the Hulk, I'm not just saying that. In Canada, when I was a little boy, I bought the comic books for $0.25. I remember when they went from 20 cents to 25 cents. I remember that. And then they had the big sign, still only 25 cents. And I was like, because I could get 4 comics for $1, and that was a pretty good deal. And I can remember, the whole plot to me of the Hulk comics was all the Hulk wanted was to chill out and be left alone and don't bug him and be cool to him, or he will pull a building down on your head. And I always related to but I was like, all he wants is to be left alone, man. Like, leave him alone. And Betsy Ross and her dad, who's Ross? Come on, we're at Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, the Hulk Buster, all the army's always on him, and he does this jumps just to get away. Like, get me out of here! You guys are jerks. Just leave me alone. So I love the Hulk, and I can't stand it when I go to these Avengers movies and the Hulk's not in the movie. Because in the first Avengers movie, the Hulk was in it with Thor, and it was incredible. I thought that was the best rendition of the Hulk. And then I read that Universal owns the rights, so they won't let him do the movie, or it's just so stupid. Because I think we would all love an Incredible Hulk movie that was amazing, And I really like the first Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze.
Johnny Blaze.
And because I love his black leather costume,
Yes.
which to me looked like the Elvis Presley comeback special. The black leather, total black leather. And that comic book, okay, I have a problem with these little kid directors directing these heroes of ours and then changing them just for something to do. I don't like that. I want to see the hero, like when they did the Inhumans. You don't have Black Bolt without the mask, like he looks like a guy waiting for the bus. That's not Black Bolt. Like, where's the little squiggly thing in his forehead and the bat wings, you know? Because when they give us that, the movie is incredible. Like, there's been great comic book movies. Spider-Man #1, Avengers, Iron Man #1, Thor, the first Thor one was great. I always thought, okay, because they could do anything in these movies. And do you remember there was a movie called, it was the car one, what am I thinking of? Grindcore. Kurt Russell, he's in the car. What is that? Grindhouse, that's it. Can you imagine, follow me on this. Imagine, you know how that movie looked like 1971 or 72? It was all gritty and dirty. Can you imagine if they made a Ghost Rider movie with the black leather that looked like that Grindhouse movie instead of like a Disney nice movie? They should make a movie that looks like that. I would love that. But, what was the question? Carmen, are you up next?
She is.
Okay. I think I said every word in the English language.
Got another question right here?
It's kind of two-part question. First one is, did you get any blowback from the book that you wrote, and do you have any plans to write another book?
I quit doing blowback in the 80s. Bang! Did you get any blowback from your book? I didn't know it came with that. Is that a bonus? That's horrible stuff. No, you know what's funny? I got some emails from people who expressed that they should have been in it more, which I thought, I'm not going to name names. But it's like, hey, dude, I got your book, and I was expecting, to be in it more, really. And I'm like, I didn't have a list of people that I was gonna put in the book, and a list of people I wasn't gonna put in the book. I just tried to write something that someone would like to read, because I wrote the whole thing myself. I didn't have any ghost writers. I wrote the whole thing. It took me 4 years. I think I didn't try to put people in or keep people out. I just tried to make something that you'd want to read, and that's challenging. Especially if it's like 450 pages. Like, that's a lot of pages. It's a lot of words.
So no more books?
Yeah, I will do another book. I will do one. I like writing books. Carmen, you have a book, right? Do you have a book? How to Be Sexy by Carmen Electra. Cool. Yeah, writing books is fun. Well, you've had quite a life, and people would be very interested to read about that. I'm reading Maytay's book about Prince. Yeah. People love Prince. We miss Prince. Let's hear it for Prince. Discovered Carl when she was 18. He knows how to pick them. So, I love books because books are old school. We are surrounded by these phones that take up all of our attention and our time. They keep us up at night. the light is too bright and you can't turn your brain off. And when I'm on the road or whatever and things are crazy, I like to, at the end of the day, read a book. I know that's nuts, but it's a different thing than looking at your phone. You know, it's a different thing, you know. So.
Got another question down front?
First of all, you still sound amazing.
Yeah.
Your voice is just...
Yeah.
And my question is kind of along that line. I was in a band for like 2 minutes. It was an ill-fated band. But our lead singer was in his 50s, and he did not take care of his hearing, did not take care of his voice, and had lost a lot of his range. So I'm just curious, what do you do to take care of your voice so that you still sound amazing? And has that changed over the years?
No, it's a scale. It's called bel canto. It's an Italian vocal scale that I learned when I was like 19, because John Bon Jovi, when I joined Skid Row, he said, "You're going to this vocal teacher in Manhattan." It's the same guy that teaches Lady Gaga and Christina Aguilera and Tony Bennett, and it's the same scale. And it's just like going to the gym, you know, like if you sing properly all the time, your voice becomes strong. And if you scream too much, then you'll lose your voice. But it's a fine line, because you want to give it everything you got. But sometimes if you give it too much, you blow it out, you know. And, you know, one of the masters of what I'm talking about is Axl Rose. Yeah. He knows how to push it so hard, but not so hard that he blows it out. And he's not just the singer of Guns N' Roses, he's the singer of AC/DC, which is pretty amazing. Yeah. Like, he's in the 2 biggest bands in the world. Who does that? Axl. So he really knows how to scream, but not blow it out. It's a trick. It's a stunt. It's what you pay to come see.
What's the scale called again?
The scale's called bel canto. You can Google that. And the vocal instructor's name is Don Lawrence. That's his name. You can fly up there. It's like $100 an hour. Less than this. Okay.
My wife and I watched Supergroup before camp here.
Yeah, you gotta let some of these people have a turn too,
yeah,
dude.
Sorry.
You're like hogging.
No, we watched Supergroup before we came out here, and
Supergroup.
Yeah.
Wait. I'll never forget the review in TV Guide for the show Supergroup. It was a very short review. It said, "Well, it's a group." That was the review. Supergroup. Well, it's a group. It's like Shark Sandwich. Yeah. That's a good review. The bad ones, you want to hear another really bad review that's legendary? As you guys know, I played Jesus Christ. Totally appropriate role for me. So we roll into New Orleans, the Sanger Theater. This is before the flooded. What a beautiful venue. Like one of the most prettiest theaters I've ever seen. We did Jesus Christ Superstar. The review in the newspaper in New Orleans, here's the first sentence. Just the simple fact that Sebastian Bach has been chosen to play Jesus Christ is one of the first true signs of the oncoming apocalypse. That was the first sentence. I go, okay, I'm framing this one. That is a pretty heavy. Okay, here's another rotten review I got. This is funny. Okay, I did date Christine Applegate. When she got tired of Brad, she knew where to go. Where do you go from there? Where do you go from there? This is where you go. Brad 2.0. So in the National Enquirer, are you ready for this one? My tour bus driver goes, "Dude, did you know you're in the Enquirer?" I go, "Holy," because that's like not a lot of rockers are in there. So there's this big article and a picture, and the headline said, Kelly Bundy falls for wild and crazy rocker. And then it had a picture of me, and it said, here's the caption. It said, Sebastian Bach, even in rock and roll circles, is considered crude and disgusting. Even in rock and roll circles. Crude and disgusting. And I'm going like this, yeah! What a great caption! I mean, okay. I have other bad reviews, but we'll stop there. Okay. Thank you very much.
Democracy.
Another one from you. Okay.
Trying to get the question out. Democracy. Any of the songs, the one original, are there any produced, finished, mixed, and mastered?
Not really. That session exists on my laptop. But nobody, Ted Nugent didn't want to make that a real thing. He's got way too many animals to kill.
Savage animal.
That's his, on the top of his list. There's squirrels, rabbits, birds. Get them all! That's important. You can't go buy one at the store, you gotta kill your own. I'm not against that, but, I remembered when he focused on the music more than that. That was the Ted I listened to. Gotta go kill a squirrel with Grandpa. And then post a picture with a little kid, and he's like this. Hey, and the kid's like this. I don't want to kill a bunny. Like, God, chill out on the murdering, dude. Ease up on the murders. Okay, I'm gonna get in trouble for everything I just said.
Next question. I made it over to
I'm
this
used
side.
to it.
Hey, Sebastian.
Hello.
You're my hero, man. You really are. Looking forward to seeing you next month in Nashville doing 18 in Life.
The what?
I'm looking forward to seeing you in Nashville doing 18 in Life. I can't understand. Sorry, man. It's my Tennessean.
He said he's looking forward to seeing you next month in Nashville.
Oh, you're coming to see me in Nashville? Hey!
Doing 18 in Life.
Okay.
So if you had one defining performance that you could, the biggest defining performance you had in your life, what would it be?
My wedding night. Oh! That was my finest performance. Hey. Oh. No, okay. I would have to say Jekyll and Hyde on Broadway. That's what I would say. Although I'm going to top that in Nashville at the Cannery Ballroom, August 30th. You better be there.
Yeah.
I plan on topping all the other performances. Leave them all in the dust.
The best days of
Onward and upward.
As always. Down front.
Hey,
Why don't I have that Kiss shirt?
it can be yours. Have a question. I have a good friend of mine, Charlie Bonnet III. He has a band, but he interviewed you, I believe he said about 20 years ago. And I hope I got this right, but he asked you a question about an article from a Canadian magazine that referred to you leaving Madam X as America's answer to Vince Neil, and it made a reference to a band by the name of Fat Boy. Is there any story
no,
there?
God, you are a Mr. Obscure here.
I can't find any information on
No,
it.
that I
He
think
told me
I
about
think
it.
we were thinking of calling a band that, but then we didn't call the band that. We ended up calling it VO5 because we were 5 guys with the biggest hair in town, and I took a bottle of VO5 shampoo and I steamed off the label and made it our logo. And it was a cool name, and I had a hair like this. It was VO5. People dug it. They came out. It was funny.
Got another question right here?
I'm sorry about the ozone layer. Sorry.
Hello. I was just wondering what your craziest memory is while on tour. Maybe the craziest thing.
We need a whole new exposition center to get into that. Oh, well, you can read my book if you want to get into some crazy stories. But I don't know, man. There's a song, Guns N' Roses. We get up around 7, get on stage around 9, get on the bus about 11, sipping a drink and feeling fine. That's rock and roll right there. Let's analyze this. We get up around 7. Okay, right there. We get up at around 7, not a.m. p.m. We get on stage around 9. So we rock. We haven't had breakfast yet. Get on the bus about 11, sipping a drink and feeling fine. I mean, if that's crazy, I must be crazy, because that sounds like a lot of fun. Right? Who doesn't want to do that? You know? Being on the road, you have to be with people that you like. Okay? If you have a jerk on the road crew, he's not going to last. If you have a jerk in the band, he's going to get kicked out. Hello? But, lead singer's disease, you tend to catch that. I have a terminal case. Thank you very much. No cure. The only cure is more cowbell. That's right. But, some guitarists have lead guitarist disease. So you kind of have to have a sense of humor to get through all this craziness. But if you read my book, I just want to say it was a different time in the 80s. It was a different time. It was a different time. Don't think that we're doing that like tonight. We might have did it last night, but I'm not doing it tonight. Okay.
All right, we've got time for one last question.
Wow.
Well, technically it's a two-parter, so Trixie.
Okay.
The first thing is, I'm a huge fan, absolutely. I even have my little tank top, but it's almost pornorific now.
Wow,
We're
cool.
all, grown up. So, the first question is, if there was anyone, alive or dead, that you could do a duet with, who would it be? An album of duets, if you could.
Maybe it'd be Neil Young. I don't know. I'm just going off the top of my head. Or Willie, like one of those guys. One of those guys that is older, that's been doing it all their lives. I get really starstruck around 70s musicians. Like I just did a benefit for kids with cancer with Robbie Krieger from The Doors. And I love The Doors. And I get so starstruck, like around the guy like from The Doors. I can't believe that I'm making music with guys like that. And Kiss, I would love to be on stage with Kiss with all their costumes and makeup and bombs going off. That would be fun. But I've been fortunate enough to jam with a lot of my heroes, like Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. I got to sing with him. And nobody sings as good as him. He's such a great singer. I love this singer named Jeff Buckley, who died, who only had one record out, and his voice was probably the best voice I heard in the whole 90s. Maybe I'll do a duet with Carmen Electra one day on her record. That'd be cool. But I just like making music that I like myself. And then nobody can take that away from you. Whether it's a success or not, if you like it yourself, then it doesn't really matter,
So the second and last part of the question would
Whoa, there's another last question.
That's why I said I'm Trixie. You gotta watch out.
That's okay.
And I know you're gonna film this, baby. I'm the one that wrote on Fanboy Expo's page that for a good 2.5-year period of my high school life, your poster hung above my bed, and you were the first thing I kissed every morning and the last thing I kissed every night. And I'm a veteran. I'm a disabled veteran. I'm a Nana 4 times over. But I wanted to ask, all those times that I was kissing your picture, were you kissing mine too?
First of all, I want to say I'm glad to be of some assistance. Whatever you were doing in your bed, to have a poster on the ceiling, that's a serious commitment. And I'll answer your question by telling you a story about my wife, who also had my posters all over her wall, but she told me that she had her favorite poster of me over her light switch, and the switch was right on the zipper. And she goes, every day I would turn on the light and turn off the light and turn on the light, turn off the light. And I thought that was pretty funny. And then she goes, and so did my mom. And with that, there's the Q&A.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sebastian Bach.
Hey! Couldn't hold me down. Never missed me king, another bird downtown. I never played by the rules and I never really cared. Station took me to Knoxville Coliseum. It's not only me, yeah.
Sebastian Bach, ladies and gentlemen.
And ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the exciting, the entertaining Carmen Electra!
Can we just stay in here?
Oh my God, how do I follow Sebastian? I mean, talk about one hell of a singer.
Woo!
Comedian, Jesus.